I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back once again with another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host of the most, as always, Cam G. The man to the right of me, of course, is the man all the way over from outside the brand. That is the man known as Phil Kahn. And, of course, my producer and co-host at this time, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, of course, we are joined here once again to talk about another abysmal, absolutely downright awful, felt like I was having a stroke, AEW Dynamite. Yes.
I was falling asleep the whole time, so I mean,
yeah.
I just watched videos.
You didn't miss much.
I had AEW on. I was kind of like I had it on so I can pay attention to, so we could talk about the show tonight. But like, I was just watching some videos on the YT and yeah. You know, some stuff that was a little more interesting than what happened on AEW Dynamite tonight. Probably more interesting, but yeah, you know. Can you do? I mean, Cam, here's the thing, and before we get started talking about the show, I'm going to say this right now. I mean, I know pro wrestling right now, probably in the whole landscape, there is a lull going on, and it seems like around this time every year that lull does happen, whether it's in AEW, whether it's in WWE, and everything just seems to nowadays move so fast. Like we're in the day and age of instant gratification. Everybody wants to know the outcome before you know the story or the background of things or the source of stuff. Like everybody just wants that instant gratification. For example, like say we get like this big feud on Dynamite between I don't know, MJF. Say MJF and Adam Cole's, rivalry heated up again. Okay? But they brought along a whole new story that kind of heated things up to the point where it actually caught people's interest. You know damn well that you're going to have people either trying to guess what the outcome is or try and make predictions of what the outcome is, or simply want to know what the outcome is before even letting said story go into play. Like, for example, say Adam Cole was a champion, whether he's the AEW champion, TNT champion, Ring of Honor champion, whatever. Just say he's a champion in general. And MJF is the challenger, the heel challenger, going after the belt, like he is right now with the world title against Hangman. But there's a big story attached to it. Literally, the beginning of that storyline, that night, right after, you'll have the IWC going like, oh, what's the outcome? Let's trying to figure out what the outcome's going to be, or who's, if MJF is realistically going to win the title and all that stuff. Like, just let the story play out. Just let things happen naturally. And right now in professional wrestling, there is a lull. Like, not every show is going to be a banger. Not every show is going to be entertaining. Not every show is going to have that wow factor to it, because this is that time of the year where things start calming down. We're going to get into the holiday season in about a month or two with, fall coming around the corner, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that stuff. So this is typically that time of the year where pro wrestling kind of starts to calm down. But there's a different feel to it this year. Like this year, for some reason, that lull is extra deep, to the point where a lot of people are losing the interest. And I mean, could we be guilty of that ourselves? Yeah, because we come on here for weeks now saying like, man, AEW just was not it tonight. And we probably would have people like, oh, you're supposed to be talking about AEW in this in a positive way. No, we are on here to give you our assessment on what we think about AEW, whether we're right, whether we're wrong. This is how we feel about it. We're not going to come on here and be fake and be like, oh man, that main event with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega was a fucking banger. Like, no. We're going to tell you that, this main event, it was okay. It sucked. At some points, there was good points about it. All that stuff. But we are in a lull. The problem is we are at an all-time lull because it's just not hitting right now. And I post that question out to the people that say like, oh man, this was so entertaining. Like, what was entertaining about it? And I generally want to know what you found entertaining about it because I simply can't. So, I mean, it's fair that it's at a lull right now because it's that time of the year. But why is it such at an extra lull? Like, why is it such extra unsatisfying?
Well, if you ask me, I think I can answer that question for you. When it comes to the two major companies that we typically talk about here on Monday night and Wednesday night, AEW and WWE Monday Night Raw, it all comes down to just storytelling. It all comes down to just writing. I think WWE is just being lazy. I think their main focus right now is just money, and I think their week to week programming is just suffering because of it. They're not putting the focus into that, and they're just so focused on counter programming and let's add yet another show to an already jam packed Monday through Friday. Like we need more wrestling Monday through Friday. So that's what it is. And then AEW, I would say it's the same thing. It's just they don't know how to tell stories, and it's just not gripping me. I want to get back the feeling that I had watching AEW 2022, 2023,
2020.
2019 when it started.
Early AEW.
And it's just not there. It's just not. The feeling is just gone. And you have two of your an even bigger problem. And I was going to bring this up later in the program, but I might as well bring it up now because it's it makes my point even more. It makes it make more sense. But you have two of the top stars, two of my favorite top stars in your company right now, with Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, and they're both hurt.
Yeah,
and they're going to be missed. Like tonight, they were missed. Like it was felt. Like it was. It's not so much that they were really doing anything big, I guess, before their injuries, but still, just not having them in something or on the program at all, is going to hurt as much as if Kenny Omega wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like it's going to hurt them. There's just nothing there. Even Hangman with the World Championship, and I hate to say this, but like I kind of expected more. And I know he hasn't been champion that long already, but I kind of expected more. I expected him to be featured more. Mm-hmm. You still have the Death Riders, you still have John Moxley, who are featured more than your world champion. Is mind-boggling to me. He's just a background noise.
I came across a video on social media a couple days ago, and it was somebody putting out like why they think the Death Riders are around, and they brought up a picture of the end of a pay-per-view from a year ago, and it kind of made sense. But at the same time, it's like if you don't have all your players in line, like Orange Cassidy, like Bryan Danielson, like some of the other players in line, then what's the point? Like, and that poses my question of like, me and you talked about the Young Bucks. And with this whole entrance thing and the names thing going on, and I'd said to you that it's ran its course 2 weeks into this thing. Like, would it have been better since you knew Swerve was hurt, since you knew Will Ospreay was hurt, and you probably had a feeling that they were going to be out for an extensive amount of time? Do you think maybe it would have been better off for the Young Bucks' sake to actually have them win in that tag match at the pay-per-view? because now they wouldn't be going through the stuff they're going through with this whole no name, stupid entrance music stuff, like all that. If you had them win against the two guys that you knew were probably going to be out for an extended amount of time with injuries, this isn't working. You should have had them win and have them have their music. They could have been the EVPs again, and you probably could have extended the fact of they could have still continued being heels and turned something good into something that would have been more entertaining than what the fuck you're doing now, because right now it's not working. It hasn't been working since it started.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more of what, the things that they do or what or not, and they just backfire.
Yeah.
Had I had known now, and it's kind of different with Swerve and Ospreay's injury situation, because I don't know when Ospreay's injury happened. I have no idea, but from what I read about Swerve has been working with a torn meniscus for a while now.
5 years.
So, had I known that, I would have been like, well, I mean, he's going to need surgery eventually. He can't keep working on a torn meniscus.
No. From what I know about the whole Will Ospreay situation, it's been lingering for a little while. He just didn't want to do anything up until the point where he honestly just kind of had to do something. And at the point he had to do something, and now it's the final straw, I guess. So
had I had known all that, then yeah, I would have said no, have them lose.
Yeah,
because ultimately you could run this back and have them earn their shots back.
Yeah.
The thing is, they haven't even been in world title situations after that whole entire tag team match in the first place. You had Swerve go after Okada and the Unified Championship. And while that was okay for what it was, it didn't really mean anything at the end of the day. No. And then Will Ospreay was dealing with the Death Riders and that steel cage match. So, I mean, they really haven't been in world title situations anyway.
And that was my part of my point when we talked about that match, was by the time they probably get into a world title picture anyways, or even in a situation, it could be a year from now. It could be. Because at that time, we didn't know fully about we knew that there was a lingering injury with Swerve, but the Will Ospreay stuff, it was kind of like, okay, we didn't really know about it. It was
still up in the air realistically, because we didn't know the extent. Exactly.
So it's like, they probably won't be with everything going on with Hangman and MJF, Hangman and the Death Riders. Like, by the time we get to Hangman or whoever the world champion is, and Will Ospreay and Swerve, it could be a year from now. So why not just have them lose? And then by the time that stipulation runs out, they'll be back in the world title picture and they'll be fine. Now you're in a position to where you have the Young Bucks, two of the top guys who can literally come in and lead your tag team division tomorrow to something that, let's face it, the tag team division is shot right now. And it's been for a while. A lot of people don't like the Young Bucks. I love the Young Bucks. I do. I've been a fan of the Young Bucks for a while now. And I think they are two talented guys that could take a tag team division and rise it up, just like the Usos in WWE. I think if they get back together, they would be, and Cam, me and you talked about this on Monday, they would be a significant pickup to the tag team division in WWE. I think the Young Bucks would be a significant pickup for the AEW tag team division if you put them in the position to become champions and maybe even go on a run with the belts. But instead, let's have them lose the pay-per-view. Let's get our cheap pop from the crowd because there's 60,000 people in the crowd, and then go from there and make these guys look like fools. It's not working. It's not working. So you're now in a position to where your two top guys who you want to have in a world title picture, who probably weren't going to be in the world title picture for a while, are now hurt. And you're making possibly arguably one of your top tag teams look like fucking fools on TV. And it looks like it looks bad. It's terrible. And it's run its course after 1 week.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we are in a lull right now with pro wrestling. It typically does happen around this time of the year, every year, because of the holidays coming around and everything like that. But this year it just feels so much more different. And I wish I knew. I think I know why but I don't want to say it because I could be 100% wrong. And yeah, I'll just leave it at I think I know why, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Well, I'm just fatigued at this point.
I'm
just fatigued. I'm just fatigued with everything at this point. Like, I mean, not much is like. Some stuff is grabbing me, some stuff is not. Most of it's not. And the fact of the matter is, whenever it comes down to the stuff that I do try to and tend to enjoy, I can't enjoy. I can't enjoy for the most part because it's just there's so much lingering around it that it's like, what else is there to really possibly get out of at the end of the day? You know, I wanted to go back to what Cam was saying about Hangman Adam Page and the World Championship and how that whole entire situation, it just feels like he's just a background player at this point. And the fact of the matter is, I have honestly just not liked what AEW has done with Hangman Adam Page and the AEW World Championship from the moment that guy won it. You know, you do everything to give that man the World Championship after Jon Moxley held it hostage for over 9 months. Mm-hmm. And you guys know, I was going throughout this entire show saying, give Hangman Adam Page World Championship because he is truly like a main character in this company, and you can do something with him if you ever just choose to do so. But at the end of the day, you're putting him in, I'll say it, they're meaningless all-star 8-man tag team matches, and you're not doing anything when it comes down to actual feuds and rivalries for the World Championship outside of MJF.
That's
you did
why
the MJF thing, and that was it.
That's why I posed my question. You know, I understand you're a fan of Hangman, but that's why I posed that question of, do you realistically want Hangman to win the world title, to be world champion, or just to get the belt off of the Death Riders and Jon Moxley?
I wanted him to be the world champion because it was honestly both.
And he's not satisfying you. And that was my feeling when that decision was coming up. My feeling is his first run wasn't that satisfying. You could probably argue the fact that, you know, he was around the whole CM Punk thing at the time and the rivalry and everything, and then CM Punk winning the world title. You probably kind of counter it to that. But right now, it's like, great, he got the world title off of Moxley, but it's like, now what?
That whole entire ending to the Forbidden Door match and main event, that whole entire ending where, first of all, the contract wasn't used, then all of a sudden Bryce Remsburg, and just how incompetent he was being as a professional referee in there. And, you know, just the entire ordeal of how that match went. Right then and there, I knew, I'm like, look, you're going to have to do a lot in order to get me back into trying to get a world championship seem to matter right now in AEW. And I love Hangman Adam Page. I think Hangman Adam Page is absolutely fantastic in everything that he does. But when it comes down to the grand scheme of things, if you want to make your world champion seem credible and important, you can't put him in situations like that, man. You just can't. After everything that you did to get that man the world championship, and then you have that ending of a world title match in the main event of Forbidden Door with how incompetent Bryce Remsburg was throughout that entire situation, I don't stand with it. I don't. And it sucks. It just truly sucks to see for Hangman Adam Page right now being stuck in all-star 8-man tag team matches that don't mean shit.
I mean, for me, like, I just wanted to see Moxley drop the championship, and moving forward, if he's a world champion, he should be the first or second thing featured on the show, not the Death Riders. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
And now MJF is in the position to where he can no longer surprise cash in. He has to give advance with the contract.
Don't even get me started on that.
Yeah,
the whole thing was stupid.
That whole.
What is the point of the contract then if he can't cash it in the way he wants to cash it in? What is the point of the contract?
After this, don't do any more cash-ins.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Just don't do the
abolish cash-ins
Just-
entirely after this.
Just get a world title opportunity at the next show.
Yeah.
Or at the next pay-per-view.
I'd rather
the
than
contract situation.
I'd rather than make another tournament or do another casino gauntlet for the more contendership. If they're just gonna just completely make no sense of this whole cash-in thing.
I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I'm going to say this right now: with them taking away the surprise factor of him cashing in the contract, when he does cash it in, they better put the world title on him.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They better put the world title on, because you just took away the surprise factor, and you just took away one of the possible best moments. MJF's cashing could be one of the best moments in AEW history, and you just took that away, not only from the fans, but from yourself. As a company, just took that away from yourself.
You literally
putting that in history books.
You literally took away what made the Money in the Bank so special in WWE. You just said, "Oh yeah, no, we're just going to do it a week in advance."
But what I mean by that is you look at Seth Rollins' 2 cash-ins, and you look at Naomi's cash-in, like literally the 3 of the best. It was 3 of the top. It was 3 of the top best cash-ins of all time with Money in the Bank. You have an opportunity to make this contract special and possibly outbeat those 3 cash-ins, or even maybe just come close to outbeating and outshining those 3 cash-ins with your contract with MJF, literally one of your top 5 stars in your company, and you took that moment away from your fans. You took that moment away from your company, and you took the moment away from to make a wow situation in professional wrestling. Just by that one decision of, you can no longer surprisingly cash in a contract in which that's how you got to do. Like, that's the point of the fucking thing in the first place.
You literally had your version of Money in the Bank right there in the palm of your hands, and you just say, "Nope, we're gonna have you cash in a week in advance. You're gonna have to say when you're gonna cash in." It makes no legitimate sense at all.
Yeah. Well, Cam, we had AEW from the Dub Arena tonight. What's going on?
Yes.
I mean,
we had AEW Dynamite from the 2300 Arena for the second week in a row. We had Gabe Kidd, for some odd reason, come out on a live microphone. He's looking for Darby Allin. He says that Darby Allin cannot hide from the rafters in this dump in the 2300 Arena. And then, of course, he then gets ambushed by none other than Darby Allin. Shocker, shocker. And then, of course, the Death Riders then come out and surround Darby Allin. Well, first Wheeler Yuta came out, and then the rest of the Death Riders came out, surrounded Darby Allin. The lights went out. I don't remember who came out and saved him. But anyways, somebody came out and saved him.
It was Hook and then the Ops.
There you go. It was Hook, and then it was the Ops. Hook looked very...
and then Willow.
I don't know. He looked very perplexed or very not pleased that the Ops kind of came in and saved Darby Allin before he could. I believe Hook then just kind of stormed off or whatever as the brawl ensued. You know, I'm looking at Moxley tonight because he was on this program 2 or 3 times, at least 2 times. And I don't know, everything he was doing, just the way, I don't know if it was because the outside or like area is just more narrow, but just everything he did, it just looked bad. It just looked bad. Like he just was moving like he was just sore. Like it was weird. Everything he was doing, like everything he was selling, it was he put very little effort into it. Looked very bad.
I will say the barricade and the ring apron were very close to each other.
It had to be something. It had to be something. So that's what I was kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
He did not have that much room to maneuver between the two sides.
They're definitely used to a lot more room between those 2 areas. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it looked very odd coming from Moxley. But anyway, so of course a brawl ensues. That's no shocker here. I think a brawl ensues pretty much every single week on Dynamite. Gabe Kidd and Darby Allin continue to brawl outside of the arena, in which Darby ends up getting the upper hand on Gabe Kidd, puts him in a body bag that is strapped to a pickup truck, and then he literally gets in the pickup truck and he's literally just dragging Gabe Kidd around in a body bag that is strapped to the like the hitch of a pickup truck. Insane, but hey, that's AEW, and that's the way we start AEW.
It's Darby Allin. I mean,
it's Darby Allin. I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but it's just Darby. Next we get a brief detailing of the feud between Alex Windsor and Mercedes Moné before our next match, which leads into Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor for the TBS Women's Championship. This match was fantastic.
Yeah,
this had me optimistic about tonight. Honestly, this was a banger. This was the best match to open up Dynamite probably in the last 2 or 3 months. Probably.
Yeah.
This was great. This is honestly great. This is probably Alex Windsor. Sadly enough, this was probably Alex Windsor's best match before she's just shuffled off to the back and probably never seen again. But no, this is fantastic. She elevated her game. Props to Mercedes Moné. Once again, she just has this chemistry with these women in the ring that you don't expect her to have chemistry with, I guess. And then she does, and it's just like she could just have a good match with just anybody, really. It's just the chemistry has to be there, I guess. So this is a fantastic match. I loved every single second of this. Of course, Mercedes wins. I honestly, for a split sec, for a couple of near falls there, I really did think, Alex might have been the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné for a second there. So a couple of near falls that literally had my heart drop. Like, I literally thought this was going to happen. After the match, of course, the show of respect is rejected by Mercedes Moné, and of course, typical heel fashion. Alex tries to attack her, gets locked, gets put into the statement maker, and then none other than the inaugural, the first ever AEW Women's World Champion, Rio, makes her return, attacks Mercedes Moné, sending her flying out of the ring with a drop kick. And the final image to end all of this is her holding and looking at the TBS Women's Championship. Now, ultimately, I have nothing against Rio. I think she is like the female Rey Mysterio for AEW. I have not seen a bad match from her. I think her best matches come from her facing women that are like 2-3 times her size. They're bangers. They're absolutely bangers. Yes, Nyla Rose. The Nyla Rose trilogy, I think they had.
Yeah.
Bangers. I haven't seen a bad match from Rio. But in saying that, the idea that this could be the next feud and match and challenger for Mercedes Moné in her TBS Women's Championship, ultimately, no. This cannot be the one to beat Mercedes and in the TBS Women's Championship. At least for me. I disagree with that. I just think that looks ridiculous, but that's just me. Do I think it'll be a good match? Sure. But for her to dethrone Mercedes, no. But I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on this match and the return of Rio. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I honestly wouldn't have anything against Rio dethroning Mercedes Moné. You look at Rio's history again with Nyla Rose. I mean, they had a great trilogy, and Nyla Rose, she dethroned Rio because Rio was the very first AEW Women's World Champion. They had a great set of matches, and for Rio to be the one to throw Mercedes Moné probably would shock a lot of people because of, like you said, her size. Like, she's a much smaller person, and her facing people that are 2-3 times bigger than her in size makes for great TV, great entertainment, because you get that fight back factor from the underdog. And yeah, Mercedes, she ain't 2 or 3 times bigger than Rio, but all those championships that Mercedes has, I mean, you look at all the belts literally hanging on the ring ropes when she's making her entrance. It's like, would it be so bad if Rio actually did dethrone her? No, it wouldn't. Would it hurt Mercedes? No, it wouldn't. So I would have nothing against Rio dethroning Mercedes Moné if this would be the case. As far as this match, though, yeah, it was a great match. Great way to open Dynamite. I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of things against Mercedes Moné. I've even had my fair share of issues with the things that she is doing on AEW television. But when she's in the ring, she's phenomenal. And she puts on phenomenal matches.
Yeah.
And tonight was just another banger. Hey, and kudos to the NWO, shout out with her gear. That was freaking awesome. I loved it. I mean, some people may think it wasn't perfect, but it's not meant to be perfect. It's meant to fit her, to show homage to a faction that she fell in love with, that could have made her fall in love, along with Eddie Guerrero, made her fall in love with pro wrestling. So great match. I mean, Alex Windsor, again, she may end up on the Ring of Honor roster. Who knows? She can come out and try and help split up a fight or something like that in the next couple weeks. Or maybe she'll actually get a shot at the TBS title again. But nonetheless, great match between these two and great way to open up Dynamite.
Phil, your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this match. Shout out to Alex Windsor. She's been killing it over the course of the last couple of weeks, getting the shot, going through the entire emotions to get to, the shot with Mercedes, and she had a hell of a match tonight. So great job there. The whole Riho situation, I'm not mad at, Riho's return. I ultimately like Riho a lot. And I think she does bring a lot to the table, but I'm like you, Cam. I just don't see it. I just don't see a world where, again, we see another challenger, go up against Mercedes and possibly win the TBS championship. I believe I already saw the graphic. I think the match is already signed, sealed, and delivered for All Out. Like it's going to be happening. But with everything in mind, I don't think this is the end for Alex, man. I really think that with the match that you had tonight between Alex Windsor and Mercedes Moné, the fact that, they tried to, Alex tried to do the handshake, but it obviously got rejected. And then you just see them going back and forth throughout the entire ordeal, not just through the match, but in the aftermath. Alex Windsor is still in my top pickings of her being the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné. And the thing is, I understand that you guys kind of feel like, she could just be, going away after this, and she can be just doing anything at this point after the whole Mercedes feud is done and over with. But I don't think we're done yet. I think we still have a lot to go with Alex. I think Alex Windsor does bring a hell of a lot more to the table than a lot of people realize, not saying that you two, just other people that I have seen around. And she is definitely something to take a look into for sure. But great match tonight. And after that match, I truly thought we were going to see something more for this episode of Dynamite. It's just, we'll see when we go through the rest of it again. But yeah, really good stuff there. And I think Alex has something to work with here.
Yo, yes, I just had a baby spider on my microphone.
I was wondering what you were doing.
I just had a baby spider literally crawling on my microphone. Like, that scared the shit out of me.
I thought you were so disgusted with my take that you just were taken aback by it.
Yo, like, it was so clear. And I'm like, what is that? And I see these legs just... My God.
Jeez.
By the way, Mercedes and Riho is confirmed for All Out.
Yes. Yeah. I thought I saw the graphic.
That is on the card. Yes, indeed, it is on the card. Next we then had we had the ops backstage with Renee. So apparently, of course, Hook interrupts them. Hook apparently he feels some kind of way, obviously about being replaced by Powerhouse Hobbs a while ago, back when he got injured. They had won the Trios Championships not long after that. So I'm intrigued. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I'm intrigued by this slightly. Do I see it going anywhere? No, but I'm intrigued by this slightly. Should this have happened a long time ago? Probably, because it's taken them a while to really pull Hook back into the fold of anything to do with the ops. But I'm intrigued by this because I mean, this is either going to flop hard, and it's going to be at the expense of Hook, and I don't think, again, Hook can afford something like that because, again, I've always talked about that pairing that he needs with a veteran, and him and Samoa Joe early on, even before the ops was a thing,
so well.
Was working. It was working so well. So a feud between the two, possibly, I wouldn't be against. but then what? It's just like you could hurt Hook in his progression in the long run, and I think that would be again just a detriment to his career in AEW. But so I don't know. I'm intrigued by this slightly, but I really don't feel like it's going to go anywhere. We've seen AEW pick up these stories, and then they either just go out in a whimper or they just drop them completely. I feel like this is something they drop completely in a month, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this and see how you guys feel. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
See, I'm gonna say this. They've had so many chances over the past couple years to put Hook in a position to where he can shine. And when they get to said position, they tend to drop the ball on it, which is really sad because we know the kid is talented.
Yeah.
I mean, he goes out there and wows a lot of people who don't necessarily think he's one that has that wow factor. And he does. He has the talent. He has the abilities to give you that wow factor. If we've seen him and Samoa Joe necessarily feuding, I think there would have to be some more element to it than just, hey, you were gone for a while and we replaced you because you weren't around. They got to find a way to kind of elevate that story a little bit, because I think it's too cliche-ish of the fact of like, you know, it's just one of those simple like, hey, we replaced you type of storylines, you know, because we've seen many times in pro wrestling. I mean, just recently at Ring of Honor, I mean, look at Sammy Guevara was in the situation with Dustin being out and had to tag up with, you know, the other members of Sons of Texas. And then he ends up turning on them, you know? So that's what I mean is now there's a story there. There's a way to build off of, because Sammy became a heel. He turned on the guys that he was teaming up with because Dustin's gone. But if Dustin was there, would it have necessarily happened? Probably not, because people were loving the Dustin and Sammy thing. Now that Dustin's not there and Dustin's going to be out probably indefinitely now with a double knee surgery, let's make a story of this. Have Sammy turn and we can have all these guys shine. If you take Hook and turn him heel and build this story and elevate it more and give us more of a reason than just a, hey, we replaced you because you were gone, then I think it could be a really good rivalry and situation and put on some good matches and give us some really good TV.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see. Phil?
I feel like they definitely needed to do this. Like, you know, do the whole thing between Samoa Joe and Hook, because obviously everything kind of happened in the way that it did. And now that Hook is back, you got to at least revisit it. You know, I'm glad that they're at least trying to revisit it. But like Mike said, you got to do a little bit more than just the replacement factor of everything. And, you know, I like Hook. We all know Hook is a hell of a talent and he can do a lot, you know, within this company, especially with him being so young. But, and him working with somebody like Joe in terms of an opposition, no pun intended with the ops, but like in terms of an opposition, like that could be really good for him. And I feel like that's going to be something good for him in the long term if they have something more than just a replacement factor. So I agree with everything that Mike said when it came down to that. You got to do something more than that in order to make, you know, more sense of this all. And you gotta have Powerhouse Hobbs in this mix too. And they have him in the mix with it because they're like, hey, I was with you the entire time. Like, I've been having your back this entire time. What is this now? Why is all the hostility? Continue building up on that because you have to, because he was the guy that replaced him. And don't shake your head no, because that is the full truth about it.
I don't think you have to have Hobbs involved, though.
You have to. He's the guy that replaced him.
Yeah, but it wasn't by his choice.
It's gonna be Hook and Joe. That is the rivalry, but
yes,
you gotta have him involved.
But you don't necessarily have to have Powerhouse Hobbs involved because it wasn't by choice. It was Hook's gone. They had to find a guy to fill in. And it just so happens that they went along as Powerhouse Hobbs and he stepped up. Okay. So to have him involved, you don't have to. Could they make
I
sense?
disagree.
Could it make sense? Here's the thing. Could it make sense? It could. I'm not going to say it wouldn't. But you don't have to, because he is just the guy that replaced. He can. Let me ask you this: how would you feel about this if they were to involve Powerhouse Hobbs? That could be your storyline. Okay, if they just play off the whole replacement storyline, that could be your storyline. But instead of the Ops being a trio, I mean, the Ops, I honestly, if they would go this route, the Ops doesn't have to be around, even though it's a great group name and it's an awesome group. If they were to just go down the route of just a replacement factor, then it wouldn't make sense to have them together long. Because what they can do is, Joe can say, hey, we replaced you with Hobbs because you weren't around. Hobbs can then be like, I don't like the fact that you're calling me a replacement. Like, I'm not just a fucking replacement here. Like, yeah, you came and asked me if I wanted to work with you, but don't call me a replacement. But then Joe keeps doing it, to the fact where Hobbs just gets pissed. Meanwhile, in the background, there's Hook getting in Hobbs' head. You got to remember, they're former Team Taz guys. They can become a team. Hobbs can turn on them. And then you got Hook and Hobbs as a tag team. And they're working together.
You're still having him involved. So
yes.
I'm fine with it either way.
Yes. But that's probably the only way you can have him involved if you're just going to play off the replacement storyline. Other than that, you don't have to have him involved.
Well,
because he is just the replacement. Explain to me why. How?
You're going to have him involved because of not only...
How?
Go ahead, Cam.
I think he's involved just by association anyway.
It is.
So. Even if you don't explain why he's involved, he's involved just by association. He's with
You're gonna at least have to have him
with
around.
Joe. So, yeah.
I mean, he's gonna be around, but you don't have to have him fighting Hook. There's no point of it.
That.
No.
Well, he's gonna be around.
Probably gonna happen though. I mean, is it probably going to happen? Probably, yes. Like I could see that happen. I could see that match happening before we get to the match with him and Joe.
I'm just saying, if he's going to get involved physically, then that would be your best bet for it to make sense. There's no other reason for Hobbs to be involved physically. He's going to be there in picture because of being part of the trio.
Right.
That's a given.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be physically involved, then there's only one way to make it make sense. And that is, I don't like the fact that you're calling me a replacement all the time. And then Hook gets in his ear. And there you go. You got the Team Taz members back together, teaming up because of that fact. Hook going, you want to replace me? Fine. Fuck you then. Hobbs, you want to keep calling me a replacement? Fuck you. Bam.
You know what's funny though is the fact that I don't see any of this happening. So I think we're putting
more
effort into it than I think they're going to actually.
Cam, that's going to be such a better story, but they're not going to do it that way.
Cam, here's the thing is I was going to text you this, and then I was going to say this to you off air, but we can sit here and analyze and put matches together, all that stuff. I don't want to say necessarily, dream up matches or, fantasy book or anything like that. But it's like, sometimes you kind of feel like with what they do on the show, it's like AEW needs to pay me for watching this.
Yeah.
Like, where's my paycheck? Because this is taking up some time. Like,
I don't do any of this.
I could be earning crown wins in Fortnite opposed to watching your show sometimes. Just saying.
Like I said, it's intriguing to me slightly, but I really don't see this going much of anywhere. I can easily see them dropping this in a month. So, but we'll see. I don't know. Next, for whatever reason, we had Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, and they throw out the challenge to the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate, Gates of Agony, and Ricochet have been having some sort of issues as of recently, and they are throwing out the challenge to the Hurt Syndicate for All Out. So basically, heel versus heel, I guess. But I guess we're kind of leaning towards the Hurt Syndicate. They're kind of turning babyface. I don't know. Right now, it seems like heel versus heel. Anyways,
I'm not interested.
I mean,
I'm not interested at all.
Just remember that they do hurt people, Cam, but on that night they're going to hurt Ricochet.
you.
They're going to hurt him.
Yeah. You know, they hurt people, but on
great.
that night they're hurting Ricochet, and that's that.
That's fantastic. Next we had Mark Briscoe. We had Mark Briscoe promo. He says the 2300 Arena is the place that him and his brother fell in love with professional wrestling. Love to hear it. And that he is chasing, for whatever reason, the TNT Championship. And he calls out, of course, the Don Callis family. So I guess he's kind of going through the Don Callis family to get this rubber match with Kyle Fletcher. Call me crazy, but I don't remember the other two matches they've had. So I don't remember where this rubber match started, but that's neither here nor there.
I believe one of them happened in the not Owen Hart, Continental.
Maybe
thing, whatever the Continental Classic Championship thing before the whole Continental Championship got retired. I think one of them was there, and another match is just on a random Dynamite. But
your guess is as good as mine because I don't know. I haven't been keeping up.
So. Are you talking about Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe?
Yeah.
Yes.
So they most notably in their Continental Classic tournament match, and later on the Owen Cup.
I was going to say both of those, but I didn't think it. Okay, I knew Continental Championship.
So two tournament matches that I didn't even think twice about, but okay, whatever. And the third match, I guess, will now be
won those two.
I guess the third match now, I guess, will be for the TNT Championship. Assuming he gets through the Don Callis family, which I would assume that he is going to. Of course, Don Callis family did come out. Now this is where I felt like I was having a stroke, because you waste all this time with all this uselessness, this useless dialogue, just to get the match for Archer and Briscoe, when you could have led with that and then went and said, okay, for Collision, you could have just showed the graphic and had and said it was Briscoe and Takeshita. All that other stuff was just meaningless. That doesn't have anything to do with anything for Archer and Briscoe. Like, but whatever. This led to Lance Archer versus Mark Briscoe. I can't remember the last time I seen Lance Archer in a match, in a singles match. That is, Brian Cage, I do believe, is still hurt. So he's lost his tag team partner. I love that tag team, or I like that tag team. I didn't love the position they were in, but I like that tag team. Now, and again, call me crazy, I don't know how you guys feel. Lance Archer was so much better when he was with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yes.
And the Don Callis family, he's just
not even close.
He's just a mascot. He's just
he's just
there. Everything that was cool about him is gone. It's not there anymore. Like he was a killer. He was like invincible when he was with Jake the Snake.
Cam, we have 11 wrestlers in this goddamn faction. Okay, look, of course there's just going to be people that stand in the background, and sadly, Lance Archer is just one of them, and it sucks.
I don't know, man. I like Lance Archer, but he's
I do too.
What he was. So I don't know.
Well, you had him lose to Mark Briscoe tonight.
Yes, I was going to get to that. You had him lose to Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe hit his Froggy Bow finishing move.
Why couldn't you have just had
absolutely ridiculous
Rocky be the guy to lose? I mean,
I said that you could have just had it be Mark Briscoe and Rocky Romero. At least that's more believable.
Rocky was just taking off his jacket, and then all of a sudden Lance Archer steps in front. He's like, "Yep, no, I'll take the match instead."
Again, moreover to my point, had this been the Jake the Snake Roberts Lance Archer, he would have destroyed Mark Briscoe.
Destroyed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Destroyed him.
Yeah.
And won. So, I don't know.
But instead, because Mark Briscoe is, and I love Mark Briscoe, don't get me wrong, but I mean, his promos, sometimes I'm sitting there and I'm lost three words in to the whole promo. I'm just like, what the fuck is coming out of his mouth right now?
He called him a prosthetic.
Like this gives me like flashbacks to Ultimate Warrior 1994. Like, son of a bitch. Look, you know I'm a very big advocate for Lance Archer, and I highly agree that him and Jake the Snake Roberts were the perfect pairing.
Yeah.
And he was just a fucking monster when he was with Jake. I mean, he was literally grabbing production people and throwing them halfway down the ramp from the tunnel on his way out, and then he would beat people up while he's walking to the ring. Like now it's he has Don Callis, pretty much saying, sit, stay, poop, go poop, pee. Come on. We got to go inside. No, Mina, we're not going outside. Sorry. She got up.
It said the O word.
It's ridiculous. And Lance Archer he needs to break away from this group, and they need to start highlighting him again because it's just not working. It's not. It's so sad. I went back and watched some old AEW stuff last week, and I watched the Cody and Lance Archer match from Double or Nothing 2020 for the TNT title, the inaugural TNT Championship match.
Yeah.
And even him dropping that match, he was still a monster after losing to Cody. And it was great. And then somewhere along the way, it just got lost.
I argue he should have won that match.
Oh, everybody did.
Cody.
Everybody argued. But they had to compensate for Cody not being able to go for the world title anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So it made sense to put TNT title on.
I knew why they did it. I'm just saying Lance would have been a perfect.
So in any bizarre world, I have a question for both of you guys. So in any bizarre world, if they were to turn Lance Archer face, do you think him going after the TNT Championship and winning the TNT Championship would have the same effect to when Dustin Rhodes won a championship? This being his first AEW championship in AEW.
That's tough. I mean, would it be exciting? Would it be exciting to the fact that he finally wins a championship in AEW and overcomes the fact that he's been there for so long and has been going through all this stuff? It would be a great moment. But I think, sadly enough, with the position that he's in now, that's all it would be, is a great moment. And then moving forward, it would just be like, okay, who's next to wear that title? If they would have had him beat Cody in the inaugural match, then it would have been like, let's see how long Archer can go being the champion. Let's see if he can be this monster champion to where he just holds this thing forever. Now it would be a great moment, but then that's it. Who's next to wear the title? That's what I'd be more afraid of.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I'm in total agreement with Mike there. It would be a great moment, especially if it was against like a Don Callis family member in Kyle Fletcher, because you finally broke away from the group and you finally, just got away and you're able to stand on your own and just be that monster that you once were, all that we all knew you as before, and it's just isn't what it is now. But at the end of the day, it's what's next. We all know that the TNT Championship is not the most highly regarded championship in this company. No. And even though there's somebody like Lance Archer that can be something for that TNT Championship, I just ask this every single time we see a new champion out of the TNT title picture. What is next, and how are you going to capitalize and build upon it? They don't. And it's not like I would just completely, just be fully all in on Lance Archer as the TNT champion. I would like that. And honestly, I would just like that very much, because he does deserve something like that. But it's just...
There's two people in AEW that I think they missed the spot on. And in regards to championships, and this surrounds the TNT title, and it goes with your question, but two people in AEW I think they missed the spot on, and one of them, they pulled the trigger too late. One is Daniel Garcia. He should have been the TNT champion way before he became the TNT champion. And then when he became TNT champion, it was like, who cares? It would have been meaningful more if he would have won it when he was hot and when people were 100% behind him, not 80%, not 90%, 100% behind him. Chris Statlander's the other one, I feel like they missed their mark on Chris Statlander. And if they would put a championship on her like the TBS title, again, it would be another, okay, this is an awesome moment. What's next for the TBS title?
The thing is, when it came down to Daniel Garcia's run with the TNT championship, it just felt like a token championship one to me. Because there was a lot of talk about his contract at the time, I believe, and the fact that he was, just getting back into contract negotiations with AEW and re-signed or something like that. I believe that was the whole situation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They gave him the TNT championship. In my eyes, just ultimately say, hey, thank you for re-signing with us. Here you go with the token championship win. And it just felt disingenuous to me, especially with the reign that he had. I mean, he really didn't do much with the championship. And again, like I continue to say, they give him these championship wins. They give anybody the TNT championship, and then they just drop the ball and they just don't know what to do next. So it's just very much odd with the way that they just continuously book this championship. But yeah, I would love to have Lance Archer be a part of that thing and, defeat a Don Callis family member in order to do it. But that's what's next.
Speaking of what's next, what is next for one Toni Storm? I guess she kind of threw out some sort of open challenge to any women in the AEW women's locker room. Not much there. Moving on. Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron. I guess they're a tag team pairing of sorts now, which had me scratching my head because if you ask me, Anna Jay and Harley Cameron, I think, meshed better. It made more sense. But I guess with the recent return of Ty Mello, I guess now they have paired Ty Mello and Anna Jay back together, which leaves Harley Cameron with basically nothing to do. So they paired her back with Chris Statlander. And then even more confusing, they had Wheeler Yuta and Marina Shafir in this saying, oh, we have your back tonight. So I don't know what is going on, but nothing's making sense. I really hope they're not suggesting or hinting towards Chris Statlander joining the Death Riders. I don't want that. That just
better not.
No, she doesn't fit at all. It just doesn't make any sense. The only female in that group, that should only be in that group, is Marina Shafir because she fits like a glove. I've said this since probably the beginning. She's the best part about that group because she just I don't know. She just makes it work. It just works. Anybody else? No. I don't care who it is. It just doesn't work.
It's her style.
It's her style. It's her body language. It's her facial expressions. It just works. She's probably my favorite part about that group. And if they add anybody else, and it's just like, okay, the mystique is gone because now you're just letting just random people join the group now. So I hope that's not the I don't know the
NWO
direction. I hope not. I hope not. But there's still the rumor of women's tag team titles. They're obviously made.
Yeah,
I'm hearing they're sitting in TK's locker or dungeon or whatever. They just haven't been debuted yet because of various different injuries or whatever to the roster right now. That I think are just going to keep happening. Honestly, they are getting bit pretty hard by the injury bug right now. So
would you ever add an asset for Marina Shafir to finally get in the ring and do tag team title situations, or no?
Would I personally would want to see her join a tag team and get tag team titles,
or get somebody else into Death Riders to team with her?
No. Because she's the like I said, she's the only female for me that just works. I would love I said this a long time ago. This is long overdue. Get her in the ring as a solo, a part of the Death Riders. We need to see, like I said, everything she does right now as their, manager, or whatever you want to call her, valet, whatever, right? It's great, but I want to see that. I want to see what she can produce in the ring.
The fact that she hasn't gotten in the ring makes me terrified because at the end of the day, I just don't know how much she's improved.
Yeah,
she has.
I mean, that is concerning.
That's the reason why they just don't have her in the ring.
All the praise I just gave her could easily be washed away the second I see her get in the ring and see what she does. And that's my problem. I don't want that to happen. So maybe it's a good thing she's not in the ring. I don't know. So I don't know. We'll see.
Marina Shafir's been in the ring. The last time she was in the ring was in May. She only has 2 matches under her belt. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she's
Were
not.
the Death Riders a thing in May?
Well, no. Here's the they've been because Moxley was the champion.
They've been a thing since October of last year.
So she had a match. She had a match at the Wrestling Revolver against Mike Bailey back in March of 2024. And then her second match ever was it was on AEW Dynamite. It was Moxley, Gabe Kidd, and Marina Shafir against Mark Briscoe, Mike Bailey, and Willard Nightingale.
When the heck was that?
It was on Dynamite on May 28th. So it was right after Double or Nothing.
This year?
Yes.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
Sorry.
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember that at all.
Not at all.
Well, it's because she hasn't been in the ring much. So
yeah, I said that was back in May. I mean,
yeah. So
whatever.
But two matches in her career, and those are it.
Interesting. Well, like I said, I would like to see more of it. Not in a tag match, not in some multi-person fiasco. No, one-on-one. Let's see where she's at. That's what I'd say about that. And like I said, as far as adding Chris Statlander to the Death Riders, no, absolutely not.
No.
But the next match we had Brodito, the reigning World Tag Team Champions, versus Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli for the tag titles. Again, say what you want, but I mean, like I said, Brodito right now, for what they are, they're working. I mean, they work as a good tag team. They're a fun tag team right now. I think the crowd is behind them for the most part. Again, we always have to ask though, how long does this really last? Are they in this for the long run, or will they still be champions? 9-10 months from now, a year from now? I don't know. Will they even still be a tag team a year from now? Who knows? I really don't know. It feels like to me they are a placeholder for some other tag team. That's what it feels like for me right now. But I really can't harp on them too much because their tag team has accomplished what I've been griping and complaining about and wanting for months now, and that is to get the tag team titles off of the Hurt Syndicate, and that was accomplished. So I can't really be too mad at it. So this was a great tag team match. This was another good match of the night, next to the Mercedes and Alex Windsor match. Again, Brodito retained the world tag team titles. So yeah, like I said, we'll see where we go from here. But Phil, I'm gonna get your thoughts on Brodito versus Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli for the world tag team titles.
I thought the tag team match was good. I think Brodito is honestly becoming one of my favorite tag teams in this depleted tag team division. And honestly, I like these guys as tag team champions, but at the end of the day, there's really not much for them right now. They gave them the Death Riders so that they can defend their tag team titles because they want to defend their tag team titles. And that's it right now. They don't have anything for these guys as tag team champions. I do see where you're coming from in the sense of like them just being placeholders until they decide to put another tag team in the mix for the tag team titles and ultimately win them against them. But in this depleted tag team division right now, Brody King and Bandito are working. And it's getting a lot of people like excited about them. And Bandito is honestly getting a lot of praise right now just because of his work and just how incredible he has been, not just with the Ring of Honor stuff that he's been working on, which honestly was very good against Hechicero at the last Ring of Honor show. But we're finally seeing Brody King, it being in something that I feel like he honestly really enjoys. So like it's a really good pairing for the both of them, and I think it's working wonders. But this tag team championship run, I feel, is not going to be lasting like a long time. So we just gotta wait and see what's going to be next for this. And I don't know what's next, but build upon these guys because these guys are actually working and they're working really well. And you can tell it by the fan reactions.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they definitely are working, Mike, your thoughts?
I think it's all determines on who they face at All Out, because if they defend the titles at All Out, if they have reputable challengers, they can drop the belts as soon as All Out. I don't see this tag title reign lasting long. I see them probably being together maybe probably the end of 2025. And then Tony Khan probably hits the reset button and says, okay, start of a new storyline. Let's see what we can do with this. Hey, you guys, guess what? You're having failed attempts at getting back the tag team titles. Now we're going to break you up. That's what I think is going to happen with these guys. Because Bandito, if I'm not wrong, is still the Ring of Honor champion, right?
Yep.
He came out with it.
He beat Hechicera.
And that's what I mean, is at some point you're going to have him just focus on the Ring of Honor world title and not be a double champion. So if they have reputable challengers at All Out, I can see them losing the belts as soon as All Out. But not a bad match tonight against Yuta and Claudio, but I think their days are numbered as far as being tag champions. Them winning the belts was just a way to get the belts off of the Hurt Syndicate, because they probably have different plans for the Hurt Syndicate, and it doesn't involve having the tag team titles.
It just started raining out of the blue here. Anyways, that just random.
We have storms we're supposed to get overnight, so I'm waiting for it.
Random. But anyways.
He's held that title for 151 days so far, so he's had a pretty decent reign with the title. Bandito.
Okada on the issues with him and Takeshita. I'm not even going to comment on the particular promo. Finally break away Takeshita from the Don Callis family, because it's just time. I think the dude can be a star on his own. I'm a huge Takeshita fan personally. I would love to see a Takeshita and Okada a feud. I think that would be great. I think they would produce a fantastic match. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know what more we need to do with Takeshita and Don Callis family. I think he's already done it and accomplished it. So, but get your guys' thoughts on this. Mike, I'm going to start with you first.
You're the alpha. I'm the rainmaker, bitch. Really? Like, this
That's
promo
what needs to be said. That's it.
This was the worst Okada promo ever. And the bitch thing, it only works in different situations to where it can be funny. It's not funny all the time. It doesn't work all the time. I get it's his thing now, but it doesn't work all the time. And this promo was not his best. Was not. It was terrible. Terrible. I was just sitting there like, why did we just waste this time? Why did we just waste valuable 2 minutes that you could have done something else and have him come on TV and just be like, you're the alpha, I'm the rainmaker, bitch. Done. Okay. Cool. You're supposed to get me excited for this match? You did a pretty shitty job at it.
Phil, your thoughts?
I want the match, but not built this way. You honestly have a lot to work with Okada, Takeshita. I get the Don Callis family factor with everything and just however many people are in that group, but you got a lot to work with here because of what the things that Don Callis said about both Takeshita and Okada in previous years. You got that to build upon, but no, you call him a bitch and then you reiterate that you're the rainmaker and yeah, no. Just build upon what you know, build upon the past history that you two have with each other with Don Callis and go from there. Because that's the easiest route you can go. And here's the thing. I understand that, easy and predictable is not always the way to go, but sometimes it just is. Sometimes it just is. When you have when you have the actual assets to work with and you know what you got to work with in order to make both things work, just go with the easy storyline to follow. We'll be able to understand it. We'll be able to follow it. Everything's going to be all good and dandy. Don't overcomplicate things here and just call him a bitch for no reason. You automatically had tension in that tag team match to begin with. Build upon that. I don't think it's really that hard to understand here. That's just me, though.
Simple is better sometimes.
See,
bitch.
Phil, you know what would been really funny is at every end of your sentence you should have said bitch.
I don't think that's really hard to understand, bitch. It's done now. I mean, the joke is done. It just didn't work. All right, whatever, Mike. You know, you guys get what I mean. Everything, it does not need to be so overcomplicated, and that's exactly what AEW does. Bitch.
There you go.
Oh, but now it's okay to do it.
That worked because it worked. It worked. See, the last one, it was the intention of calling me a bitch, but that worked because it was just there. It was there. I'm proud of you, Phil.
At the end of the day, they gotta stop being bitches and go with what they know.
Wow.
Bitch.
That's 2 in a row, Cam.
I like it.
Fucking Phil's on a heater right now.
He's on a roll.
Until they actually get this feud on track, I'll be saying bitch every single time this goes around. So get this feud back on track.
The next thing we got, we kind of already glazed over that already, is the Hurt Syndicate. Another wacky promo from MVP.
Is MVP getting in the ring then?
Yes.
I don't. Is
yes. He? Yep. Yes. He's going to be in the 6-man. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know how that's going to go.
Wow. Clear eyes. Y'all remember that commercial?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Clear eyes.
For
I missed that commercial.
Clear eyes.
I don't know how that's going to go.
For dry, clear eyes.
This will be his first match in AEW, I do believe.
Oh, he's not in a match. He's in a match in AEW.
I don't think he has.
Let's find out.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
MVP.
Casino Gauntlet, maybe? Maybe?
No.
Imagine him in a Casino Gauntlet match.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
In-ring history in AEW consists of one singles match on January 15th, 2025, and he won against Isaiah Cassidy. That's it.
Oh, wow.
He debuted in All Elite Wrestling Dynamite Grand Slam in September 2024, later bringing in Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley for the Hurt Syndicate, but that's all he did. His match record is just one match against Isaiah Cassidy, and he's undefeated.
His last match was on
January 15th.
On Cage Match, it says May 10th against Al Snow.
Oh, that was probably like an indie promotion, though.
That
or at
was,
OVW.
Wrestling.
Al Snow. What?
Yeah. Because Al Snow got back in the ring like 2 years ago for an OVW.
Well, I know that. He's freakish. He's jacked. He's a freak of nature. It's ridiculous. Anyways, moving on from that, we then had Adam Copeland come out and all that jazz, but he gets attacked by FTR, and then of course Christian Cage comes out for the save, and then we are in the midst of a brawl between the four. I guess this is the build. This is the hype towards their all-out tag match. I don't particularly have an issue with the whole brawl thing. Until the Ring of Honor people came out, and I'm like, I don't know any of you guys. I don't know, literally. I don't watch Ring of Honor, so I don't have the Honor Club or whatever it's called. I don't know any of you guys. I don't. And then really... FTR took it upon themselves to Spike Pile Drive whoever that kid was.
They really tried to make that a big deal, but I don't know who that was.
I'm saying, if I don't know who it is, I'm struggling to care. Huh? You know what's funny too, though? You know what's funny too, though? when they were backstage and Cash is talking to him. That guy looked like he could be like his freaking son. They looked alike.
And that wasn't the guy that got pile driven. That was just another guy.
I didn't know that either.
That was just another guy.
Random.
So
I don't know. I don't know anybody in that Ring of Honor roster.
You had the Ring of Honor locker room come out to try to split that up. Well, how else did you think it was gonna go?
I don't care. Ring of Honor roster.
That was not the way to do this at all.
Whoop-de-doo. Ring of Honor roster. Fantastic.
Yay.
You sound like Kermit when you did that.
They not turning enough for the turtle club.
Turtle time.
It's turtle time.
Gentlemen, here's the good news. We have reached the main event. The main event was this
great
8-man, whatever nonsense.
All-star 8-man tag team match.
It consisted of the Don Callis family, which consisted of Fletcher, Alexander, and the Young Bucks versus Jet Speed, Page, Omega. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Normally, I'm against these multi-man matches because they do them so much. This was not a bad match. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It wasn't bad. Now, my problem is their focus should be building for All Out. Some of these guys maybe have matches at All Out. Maybe.
None of them have matches at All Out right now.
Well, okay. That's a problem. So my issue is it's not building anything for All Out. And that's an even bigger problem for Hangman because he's a world champion. So we have no world championship match as of right now. But honestly, it wasn't a bad match. I think one of my favorite moments though was to get Kenny, Hangman, and the Bucks in the same ring. Everybody chanted, the elite, the elite. So that was pretty cool because I think it was the first time those four have been in the ring in quite some time.
First time since the Revolution match in 2020.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. The history is there with those four. The pioneers, the guys who were part of the building bricks for this company was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment. I'm not gonna lie. So it wasn't realistically a bad match. After the match, of course, the Don Callis family did get the victory here. There was a post-match beatdown. Shocker. I'm praying that our world champion Hangman Adam Page is okay because he got hit with a very nasty brainbuster on a steel chair, and it looked like he pretty much like hit the back of his neck on the steel chair because he immediately clutched his neck after that. So I hope he's okay because that's the last thing they need is have yet another injury, and this time it'd be to their world champion. And then Kenny Omega, of course, then takes a pretty nasty spill as well. He was suplexed by Cal Fletcher off of the apron onto a table, and that was nasty because that table absolutely exploded, and it cut open the back of Cal Fletcher pretty gruesomely. Yeah. I got flashbacks to when that happened to Hardcore Holly, if y'all remember that. So that was pretty gruesome as well. So yeah, a very gruesome ending to AEW Dynamite. I'm assuming this is going somewhere. I don't know if this is writing Kenny off TV again or writing Hangman off TV. That would be bad because he's a world champion. I'm assuming this is going somewhere. I don't know where. I'm assuming they're going to have some sort of match it all out, but we will definitely see where this all goes. Phil, I'm going to get your thoughts on the match and, of course, the mayhem that ensued after the match.
This is just my speculation with everything, but obviously because of Kyle Fletcher getting involved with Kenny Omega tonight and how they kind of just honestly put him out of commission, even though we are only about 3 weeks away, I believe it's honestly 2 weeks from this Saturday, the show on September 20th, I think they might try to do something with Kenny and Kyle. And I know it's the TNT Championship, and I know that Kenny Omega has honestly nothing to do with the TNT Championship, and he's way more involved in that, or he's way up higher than just the TNT Championship. But I think that's where they're probably going.
Yeah.
A lot of people were probably thinking, "Oh man, we're probably going to have Kenny and Hangman go at it again for the World Championship." Oh, I would absolutely love that.
Yes.
That's that's probably not where we're going at least right now. I would love to see that eventually, but not right now. I think we're doing the TNT Championship with Kyle Fletcher and Kenny after everything that happened tonight, and then we're just gonna still have to wait and see what's next for Hangman Adam Page. I don't like that. I already told you earlier on in the program. I don't like how they did that with the World Championship after everything that happened at Forbidden Door. So, what's next for Kyle Fletcher? Most still likely Kenny Omega, but there's a lot more to be desired after that. Jet Speed, they're in limbo right now. I honestly have no idea what's next for them. And then it's just continuously going on with the Young Bucks, like we said earlier on in the program. And I would have personally loved to see Josh Alexander go up against Hangman Adam Page, but that's not obviously happening. Because I just think Josh Alexander is definitely a world championship type caliber superstar, but I wouldn't want to see Josh Alexander in a loss like that, because I just freaking love the guy. But it is what it is. We're still going to have to figure out what's next for Hangman, but it seems like Kyle Fletcher and Kenny Omega's the plan.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I did honestly get the thought of potentially it being Fletcher chasing more gold and him going after the World Championship, not in a winner take all type thing, but just going after the World Championship, and it'd be Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page for world title. I would be opposed to that for All Out, but who knows? We'll definitely have to see. I could definitely see him and Kenny. I guess for the TNT Championship, again, as you said, that's kind of beneath Kenny because I think he's worth more than that. I would love to see Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page again for the World Championship. I think that would be a fantastic move. As the MJF thing right now, I think is on ice until I don't know, at least until World's End, I think.
I just wouldn't want to see anybody turn at that point. And then again, you don't really necessarily have to have somebody turn.
No.
But it's just built upon the whole history between Kenny and Hangman and their tag team stuff. So I don't mind it. It's just I don't know if it's happening right now. I think you could build upon it though, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think we may be getting, I don't know, teases of it here and there. But I don't think that's where they're going to go with it for right now. Because I mean that's how I'm thinking about it. Just just the fact that they had him in the main event with the world champion. I mean that's the closest he's been to that world championship since dropping it to Hangman when they had their match. So it makes sense to me. But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for the main event. Mike didn't watch the main event, so that's why I'm skipping Mike. So that's all I got for you guys for 9/3/2025 AEW Dynamite. We are 2 weeks out from AEW All Out, so I would assume the 17th is we're going to make our predictions for AEW All Out. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram at @Phillyman_. You guys can also follow me on YouTube and all of that stuff with _. as well. I just passed 700 subscribers yesterday.
Nice.
So we are on that road to 1K still. We're on the grind. We're doing the damn thing. So be on the lookout for all the social media channels. That's where you guys can find me. And I'm in the editing process of videos right now, so stay on the lookout for that. Those are probably just coming up in the weekend because I still got a lot to work on in terms of the editing process and thumbnail making and all that jazz. So just be on the lookout to all the social media channels, mainly X, because that is where I am most active, and that's where you guys can basically just find me in terms of like video announcements and how everything's all playing out. So stay tuned to all of those channels.
Absolutely. Keep up with Phil Khan everywhere he's going right now. Great stuff coming out of there for some good wrestling content. Mike, where can we find you?
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Metal Mike 714 is where you can find me every Monday night with Cam after Monday Night Raw on the table spot right here on Rivet City Radio's Twitch Off the Top Media's YouTube channel, and back here on the Boom with these two gentlemen after Dynamite on Wednesdays. And then on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/The Huddle Up Podcast, youtube.com/@The Huddle Up Pod. I'm doing a special live tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the kickoff to the 2025 NFL season. We got the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions, taking on the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to be doing a pregame show for that leading up to kickoff at 8:20. So come join me for that and head over to the YouTube and check out some of the videos that are up now. Starting to boom up a little bit over there on the YouTube. So it's pretty exciting. And you can also check out the Huddle Hub on TikTok and on X as well at the Huddle Hub Pod.
Football's
Definitely,
back, baby.
Absolutely. Definitely keep up with Mike and everything. Football, he is the analytical magician. Trust me when I say this. But yeah, as far as me, you can follow me right here on all my socials. Definitely keep up with me on my TikTok. I make videos giving you my honest takes on everything WWE, AEW, and possibly even TNA. Keep up with me there as well. And of course, you can find us right here every single Wednesday night talking about some AEW Dynamite. Of course, me and Mike, as Mike said, on Monday night after Monday Night Raw, talking about some Monday Night Raw. And I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, or first of all, I love and appreciate all you guys come by and checking out the stream. Now, I love everybody, love, peace, and prosperity, and we are out.